A common fault that occurs in people as they gain more authority is impatience with those who work for them. Leaders like results. Unfortunately, that action orientation sometimes causes them to stop listening. But a deaf ear is the first symptom of a closed mind, and having a closed mind is a surefire way to hurt your leadership. The higher people go in leadership, the more authority they wield, and the less they are forced to listen to others. However, their need to listen becomes greater than ever. The farther leaders get from the front lines, the more they must depend on others for accurate information. If they haven't formed the habit of listening carefully and intelligently, they aren't going to get the facts they need. And when a leader stays in the dark, whatever problems the organization is having will only get worse. Is it possible to be a leader without being a listener? The answer is yes. Talk to employees in companies all across the country, and they will tell you that they work for people who do not listen to them. Is it possible to be a good leader without listening? The answer is no. No one can go to the highest level and take their organization there without being a good listener. It simply doesn't happen because you can never get the best out of people if you don't know who they are, where they want to go, why they care, how they think, and what they have to contribute. You can learn those things only if you listen. Author and speaker Jim Rohn says, "One of the greatest gifts you can give to anyone is the gift of attention." I believe that's true. But listening to followers isn't just a gift to them. It benefits the leader, too. When leaders listen, they receive others' insight, knowledge, wisdom, and respect. That puts all of an organization's assets into play, ready to be marshaled for the fulfillment of the vision and the attainment of its goals. What a wonderful gift. Chapter 7. Get in the zone and stay there. Can you remember the first lesson you ever learned about leadership? I can. It came from my dad. He used to tell my brother, my sister, and me, "Find out what you do well and keep on doing it." That wasn't just casual advice. He and my mother made it their mission to help us discover our strengths and start developing them before we were old enough to leave home and go out on our own. Whenever I mentor people to help them discover their purpose, I always encourage them to start the process by discovering their strengths, not exploring their shortcomings. Why? Because people's purpose in life is always connected to their giftedness. It always works that way. You are not called to do something that you have no talent for. You will discover your purpose by finding and remaining in your strength zone. Similarly, you cannot grow to your maximum potential if you continually work outside of your strength zone. Improvement is always related to ability. The greater your natural ability, the greater your potential for improvement. I've known people who thought that reaching their potential would come from shoring up their weaknesses. But do you know what happens when you spend all your time working on your weaknesses and never developing your strengths? If you work really hard, you might claw your way all the way up to mediocrity, but you will never get beyond it. Nobody admires or rewards mediocrity. People who reach their potential spend less time asking, "What am I doing right?" and more time asking, "What am I doing well?" The first is a moral question. The second is a talent question. You should always strive to do what is right, but doing what's right doesn't tell you anything about your talent. Listen to what others say. Your strengths will capture the attention of others and draw them to you. On the other hand, when you're working in areas of weakness, few people will show interest. If others are continually praising you in a particular area, start developing it. You don't want to spend all your time comparing yourself to others. That's not healthy. But you don't want to waste your time doing something that others do much better. Former GE CEO Jack Welch asserts, "If you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete." People don't pay for average. If you don't have the talent to do something better than the competition, place your focus elsewhere. To get a better picture of where you stand in relationship to the competition, ask yourself the following questions. Is someone else doing what I'm doing? Are they doing it well? Are they doing it better than I am? Can I become better than they are? If I do become better, what will be the result? If I don't become better, what will be the result? The answer to that last question is you lose. Why? Because your competition is working in their strength zone and you aren't. Former All-Star baseball catcher Jim Sundberg advised, discover your uniqueness, then discipline yourself to develop it. That's what I've tried to do. Many years ago, I realized that one of my strengths was communicating. People have always been motivated when they hear me speak. After a while, many opportunities were given to me to speak at events with other motivational speakers. At first, it was very intimidating because they were so good. But as I listened to them, the thing I kept asking myself was, what can I do that will set me apart from them? I felt it might not be possible for me to be better than they were, but it would be possible for me to be different. Over time, I discovered and developed that difference. I would strive to be a motivational teacher, not just a motivational speaker. I wanted people not only to enjoy what I shared, but also to be able to apply what I taught to their lives. For more than 2 decades, I have disciplined my life to develop that uniqueness. It is my niche, my strength zone. Whenever you see people who are successful in their work, you can rest assured that they are working in their strength zone. But that's not enough if you want to be successful as a leader. Good leaders help others find their strength zones and empower them to work in them. In fact, the best leaders are characterized by the ability to recognize the special abilities and limitations